Shavua Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi Masechet Eruvin. We are up to Perik Dal Mishnah Chet. Today's Mishnah should be Leilum Nishmat, Neria ben Svetlana, Ranbai ben Eliyahu ben Burchai Israelov, Menuchatam beGan Eden, Amen. The Mishnah begins, Im eno makir or she'eno baki ba'alacha, if the traveler does not know of any landmark ahead of him to establish as his residence, or if he is not knowledgeable of the law that allows him to designate a residence from afar, and he therefore said, my residence for Shabbat should be in my current place. His residence is established where he is, and his place acquires for him 2,000 amot in every direction. Now the 2,000 amot are measured from the edge of his immediate 4 amot, which is considered his place. Now, although the Mishnah states that the traveler said, my residence shall be in my place, his location becomes his Shabbat residence, even if he does not say anything. The Mishnah now cites a dispute as to how the 2,000 amot of Tchum are measured. Agulot divrei Rabbi Chanina ben Antignos. The Tchum forms a circular area with a diameter of 4,000 amot, with the person's residence at the center. And these are the words of Rabbi Chanina ben Antignos. And the commentaries explain the Tchum is exactly 2,000 amot in every direction, which results in a circular area with a diameter of 4,000 amot. But the sages say, merubaot kitavla merubaat. The Tchum is formed as a square, like a square board that measures 4,000 amot on each side, so that he may gain the right to go farther than 2,000 amot towards the corner of the square. Whoever can see the diagram in the Arts Elucidated diagram, note 3, we'll see the form that the sages have. Now this gives approximately 800 extra amot in the direction of the corner. Now, the circle that forms the 2,000 amot area around the person's residence is squared off, according to the sages, which allows him to go farther than 2,000 amot in the direction of the corners. And the Gemara in page 51a in Masechet Eruvin finds an allusion to the 2,000 amot of Tchum in the verse that discusses the 2,000 amot areas of open space, Migrash, that surrounded the cities of the Levim that the Torah speaks about in Sefer Bamidbar, chapter 35, Pasuk 5. Now the same verse refers to the sides of these open spaces as corners, which teaches that they were squared off to form corners. And the sages find the hint in the verse that the Tchum of Shabbat is similarly squared off, and Rabbi Chanina ben Antignos disagrees. Now, the commentaries add, this dispute relates to every case of Tchum, and not just the case of our Mishnah. We continue now with Mishnah Tet. The usual way for a person to establish a Shabbat residence in a place other than his home is for him to set out food in that place as an Eruvet Techumin. And we spoke about this in chapter 3, Mishnah 1 through 7. Now, Mishnah Chet, our previous Mishnah, stated that a traveler can establish a Shabbat residence in his location simply by being at that spot. And the Mishnah comments, this law that a traveler can establish residence by his presence is included in what the sages said a poor person can make an Eruvet Techumin with his feet, meaning by going to a place and being there when Shabbat begins. Now, although the term Eruvet Techumin usually refers to the food placed as an Eruv, in truth it refers to the act of establishing residence in a place other than one's house, which is its meaning in this Mishnah. Now, since a traveler often does not carry with him food with which to make an eruv, he is permitted, as is a poor person who has no food, to establish his residence in a place simply by being there. Now, the Mishnah cites a dispute whether this method may be used only by one who has no food, or it can be used by anyone. Amar Rabbi Meir said, Anu en lanu ela ani. We have this law only for a poor person. Now the commentaries explain, the Rav writes, rich and poor in this Mishnah refer to the person's current ability or inability to make an Eruvet Techumin with food, whether because of poverty or because he has no food available, such as when he is traveling. However, Rabbi Meir says, a person who has food available to him can establish his Shabbat residence only by placing food in that place as an eruv, since that is the primary way of making an eruv. Now, this discussion concerns only a person who wishes to establish a residence in a spot other than his home. All agree that a person who is at home establishes his residence there without placing food. Rabbi Yehuda but Rabbi Yehuda says, Echad ani v'echad ashir, both a poor person and a rich person, meaning someone who has food, may establish residence in a place simply by being there. And this method, in fact, is the main way of making an eruv. Lo amru me'arvin bapat ela la'akel al ha'ashir shelo yetzeh v'yared b'raglav. The rabbis did not say to make an eruv with bread, meaning food. Most forms of food can be used for an eruvet techumin, except to make it easier for a rich person so that he should not have to go out and make an eruv with his feet, meaning so that he should not have to go to the place he wishes to make a Shabbat residence and stay there until Shabbat begins. He can instead send a messenger before Shabbat to put food there for him as an eruv. And basically the commentaries explain that Rabbi Meir holds that the primary way of establishing a Shabbat residence is with food, and only a person who has no food available can do otherwise. Rabbi Yehuda holds that the primary way of establishing residence is with one's presence, and the method of using food is merely a leniency the rabbi is allowed to be used by one who is able to do so. And therefore the Mishnah's opening statement that making an eruv by being in a place is an option for the poor, that reflects Rabbi Meir's opinion. All agree that the method that we discussed in Mishnah 7, designating a residence at a distant landmark with neither food nor the owner's presence at the selected spot, may be used only by a traveler. And that is the conclusion of our Mishnah. The Rav does explain about Halacha ki Rabbi Yehuda. The Halacha does follow the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda that both a poor person who has no food and a rich person who has food may establish a residence in a place simply by being there. Everybody should have a Shavua Tov. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.